Hello everyone, today I'm gonna show you how to install Plex server on your Ember Pro and Ember X. The process between the two is the same, but today I will show you the process on Ember Pro. So first thing first, we need to connect to our Ember Pro. To do so, you have to search on your browser latticenode.local. Here you will find all your Ember devices. Click connect. The first step is to enable Pro Tools. This function is used to install container apps and in our case Plex server. So go to control panel, then go to Pro Tools here. If you cannot see it, click here advanced and now you will be able to see it. Then check enable Pro Tool service and click apply. After the installation is done, you will find this icon right here that is Pro Tools. So now we can install Plex server on our Ember Pro. Go to App Store, search for Plex and click install it. The installation is automatic, you don't have to do anything. So after the installation is done, you can see your Plex server in container apps under Plex app 1. If you want to connect to your Plex server, you need to click view all and then select this one. The private IP address could be different, but you need to see the port number that should be 32,400. This is the private IP to connect to your private Plex server. If you will see this error, you just have to add to your URL/web. In this way, you will access your Plex server. Of course, you need to register and have a Plex account. After that, you can start to set up a Plex server. The Plex server is already working, but first, how can we add media to our Plex server? You just need to go to your Ember Pro, File Explorer, and then Local Common, Ember Pro. Here you will find a bunch of folders. Plex wants you to follow a structure of folder and subfolders in order to scan the media fast. I will leave the link of the guide that show you how the structure works, but I'm gonna try to explain to you. So you have to create a main folder called media and then two subfolders or more that represent the type of media you are going to upload in them. So in my case, I have a movie and TV shows. After that, inside the movie folder, you need to insert your movie or TV show in its own folder called with the name of the movie. In my case, Poor Things or Wonka, and it's the same with TV shows, but on TV shows you also need to divide in seasons. So every season should have their own folder, and then inside of the folder you can put your episodes. Plex suggests to add the season number and episode number in the name of the file, but it's not mandatory. But in this way, if you do it, it's gonna be really fast for Plex to scan your media. So after we have uploaded our media, we have to create a new library. Probably on your first setup, Plex is going to ask you to create a library, but I'm going to show you the process right here. Here you can see my server. You need to click add library and then select the type of library you want to add. In my case, movies. You can rename it however you want. And here there is a tricky part where you have to browse for your movies. I don't know why, but the folder's name is different between the Plex File Explorer and our Ember Pro. So we have to search it in this list. Usually you can find your, if you have done it like me, with media folder, like this, usually should be under the folder videos. And as you can see here, I have two folders, so I select the movie folder and I click add. After that, you can click add library and Plex will do all the work and you should be able to see all of your media. The only thing you need to be aware of is that if you want to enable remote access, you need to enable port forwarding. In order to do so, you have to follow these steps. you have to go to settings and then scroll down and you will see remote access. In my case, it's already enabled. Normally, you wouldn't be able to enable it. This is because usually your Ember Pro is connected with a Ethernet cable to your home router. In order to access the public IP of your Plex server, you need to do port forwarding. So we need to log in our Ember Pro router. So I'm gonna type in my browser latticerouter.local. In this way I can access the router of Ember Pro. So after you have logged, you also have to log in to your home router. First thing first, if you haven't done it, I suggest you to enable UPnP, otherwise it will not work. So this process is different based on your ISP. In my case, I have KPN, but it should be the same with the other ISP. So you need to search for the port mapping function in your router. What do we have to do? We have to add a rule. And after that, you have to find your private IP of your Ember Pro. To do so, we are going to Ember router again. You need to know your private IP of your Ember device. In my case is this one, so I'm gonna copy it, or at least only the last number, and I'm gonna add it here. Next, you have to select the protocol. You should select TCP and UDP and the private port. This port should be the same for everyone, because usually is the port used for the Plex server, and you can check it here. This is the port we are using it, and also here in our URL. You should set this port both on private and public. Now that we have done it, we need to go to Ember router again, and if you don't see it, click advanced up here and then port forwarding. Here you will add a new rule as before. It's the same process. And here you have to insert your Plex server IP. In my case, it's this one, but if you cannot find it here, it's also up here in Pro Tools. This is the IP, and the port is the same as before. So 3200 4000, and protocol should be TCP UDP. Then click OK. If you have followed all of the instruction, you should be able now to use remote access for your Plex server. After you have done everything, just be sure that your port here is the same you have specified in the port forwarding, because otherwise this will not work. In my case, I've checked manually specify public port, so I'm sure that this will not change, and it will be the same every time. If you encounter any problem or you have any questions, you can leave it in the comments below. In the description of the video, you will find every link and everything I've talked about. Thanks for watching.